Hi guys, you're welcome back to today's tutorial. How you guys doing? I love you all for your support, but please, if you are new to this channel, please click on the subscribe button there, and also please turn on your notification bell so that each time I upload a new video you will get notified. So my beautiful people, you can see our thumbnail there. I will show you guys to make that beautiful gown. You can see the half length there, that is that bodice there is corset. So that is why though I've done video on the how to draft a corset, but I'll also be explain to you guys how to achieve that there, but I will still be dropping the link. So what we have on our table is the fabric we're working with is polo. We can actually use a velvet, but I'm using policy stretches a whole lot. So this is the elastic I'm using to manipulate that side to side there, gather for the down part of our gown. And the bias, I'm using my bias to turn the neckline to make sure I have a neat finishing. But if you have your overlocking machine, just weave it round, turn it once, that is all. But if you are making use of Ankara fabric, that is African print, ensure you use lining. With the line you will turn the neckline, but with that Ankara fabric, remember to add zipper allowance. I also explained that. So let's quickly get started. I also have my trim. You could decide to forget about it. Yes, it's optional, though it's in that picture that I turned there. So it depends how you want it. So place our waist dart. So you can see the waist dart we're working with is 1 inch. That is 2 inches. 1 inch, 1 inch here. You can see what we have. So the bust plan I have here, we are working with this 8 inches. Into fold is 4. So I place 4.5 inches. You may be wondering why, because it's a stretchy fabric. There's no need for that. There is a need for that because we'll be using overlocking machine to have that neat finishing. Remember, we'll not be using line except you are using line. If you're making use of lining, make sure your line is a stretchy line also. There is no need for this. Just place that nipple to nipple. Everything will sit properly because it stretches. So the 0.5 inch is just for the neat finishing because I will use my overlocking machine for that 0.5 inch. So at the end of the day, I will have exactly my bust span. So, but if you are making use of lining, there is no need for that because you cut exactly your lining exactly what you have here as your fabric. So for the Ankara fabric, you will use exactly what I have here. You add because it's not stretchy. You cut your lining the same. But at the back panel, will be adding zipper allowance. Remember that, but this will not be adding a zipper allowance with stretches. So let's quickly now get started. So you can see the waist that will be working with is just 2 inches, 1 inch here, 1 inch here. So we quickly connect it to meet this is our under bust. Connect it. This 0.5 inch is just for the same allowance that be excuse me, going to the down panel, the down part of our dress. So this is just to connect it. There's no need of step it down because it's polo. For those that are working with velvet, it's the same. But if you're working with Ankara fabric, you step down. I will drop the length for you. So this is just it. Remember, it's an off shoulder. So place it. Just connect it to meet it. That is just it. So you can see for the upper part, I'll be using my bust radius. See what we have. 3.5 inches. Bust point on that bust, distance between bust point on that bust. For the upper part, I will place it 3.5 inches. But remember the 0.5 inch. I added 0.5 inch here, making it 4 inches. See what we have. So I will quickly connect it. But our thumbnail there is 2 steps corset. But now we're making use of 3-step corset. So now this is our new chest line. As I will quickly connect it this way for a better understanding. See what we have now. So now that we're done with this, for the midpoint, remember it stretches. So I don't want much. If you look at that thumbnail, it's about 1.5 inches or 2 inches thereabout. But mine, I just want 0.5 inch. So by the time I open it up, remember it stretches, I'll be having just 1 inch. So for the neck depth, You can see I'll be making it of 2.5 inches. You could decide to work with 2 inches, depending how deep you want yours to be. So I'll be working with 2.5 inches. So I place it this way. So from this point, I will just place that 0.5 inch. So by the time I open it up, I will have just 1 inch. So I will connect it this way. See what we have? So 0.5 inch, don't forget that for the same allowance. I will just indicate it this way because here we have added. I'm just using this format for a better understanding. See? So this is just our same allowance here. Why this is our same allowance? Because we're using our bias to avoid confusion. So now that we're done with this, I will connect it this way to meet this down part. You see what we have? So this is it. So now is to place our bust radius just for a guide. 3.5 inches, so that we'll be able to connect it easily. Now from this our chest line excuse me, to the under bust, I will place my ruler this way, place it properly just to connect to meet the under bust. See what we have for this side. You know, boots is fuller towards the armhole. Because it stretches, we'll just be adding 0.5 inch. Yes, making it 4 inches, just 4 inches there. So I will connect it, place it properly, make sure everything sits properly, connect it this way. From this point now, connect it to meet the under bust as well. From this part is just straight. Here is just straight to meet the armhole. So we're done with this. Remember I said it's 3 steps corset. What I mean is this: the upper part 1, 2, 3. But if you are making 2 steps corset, the link is there. You create that exactly what you have here. Upper part exactly what you have there on the thumbnail. But mine is 2 sides. It's 3 steps. Sorry. So I will be placing 1 inch here. You could decide to place 0.5 inch here for 0.5 inch here. So I will place 1 inch here. So I will take my curve ruler to connect it. Excuse me. So place it this way to have that curve. You see, place it this way as well to connect it. See what you have. So this part will be going off. This part will be going off. This part will be going off. These are our darts. So here you will quickly label it. Here is A, your B, your C. You see, but while transferring to our fabric, we will still add that 0.5 inch round. Yes, here and here. Remember, we've added here. We'll also add here, also add here. So that by the time you finish sewing it, your curve will cover your bows. If I know you may have taken note, most of the ready to wear corset, it doesn't cover the bows. No, you will see that the bows is separate from the cup. So it's not proper. So to have a perfect corset for ready to wear, follow this process for a better finishing. So now that we're done, we have to click connect the upper part. Remember I said this part serves as our same allowance. I will quickly take my ruler to connect this way. Let me connect it to the bust radius. Can you see the bust radius? So I will connect it this way. You can see. But now we are working with this because of the same allowance of added. You see, it's just the same thing. So place it this way for this area. Sorry guys. Place it properly. So what we have for this one now, this second line, I'm just indicating it's just the same allowance. See what we have. You can step down by 0.5 inch or just place your ruler this way. Can you see what I'm doing, guys? To connect it. Remember, it's off shoulder, both sleeve. So this second one now, see what we have. It's the same allowance. Remember, we're fixing our sleeve. So by the time we fix our sleeve, we'll have this. See? So now that we're done with this, we have to quickly now place our measurement. So the measurement you'll be working with, the bust measurement is 10.5 inches. Place it 10.5 inches. See what we have. So the same allowance, because I'll be adding 0.5 inch here, 0.5 inch here. I've added here already. So I will just be working with 1 inch. Just 1 inch, same allowance. I will place because of the fabric that I'm working with. So the down part is the same thing, it's 8.5 inches, which is this, plus 2 inches, that's replacement, plus just 1 inch, same allowance. So let me quickly now connect it, guys. You see what we have? So it's really simple, guys. See? So this is the actual measurement we are working with. This is just the same allowance. Just let's quickly cut it out. Cutting it out, I will first cut it out and place it to the back panel and trace it out. So I'm following the same allowance. You see what we have? So I'll move it this way. So you can see what we have on our table. Let me quickly adjust my camera properly. We are done tracing it and I have not cut out the cups. You see, I just used to trace the back panel. So now that I've traced it out, for those that will be making use of Ankara fabric, you make sure you add your zip allowance this way. This is how you should place yours. So mine is direct because I'm not making use of that because it stretches. So you see what we have now. So it's time to, let's put this one aside now. So place our tape to find your sleeve. Remember it's off sleeve, off shoulder sleeve as well. So to determine where your sleeve will start from, so I'll place my tape this way. I'll be working with 6 inches because it stretches. So by the time I finish stitching, I'll be having 0.5 inch. So by the time I open it up, I'll be having 11 inches for my back. Yes, 11 inches, though it stretches. So I'm only placing 6 inches. You could decide to work with 5 inches or 5.5 inches, so it's depending on measurement you are working with. So I'm placing 6 inches this way. See what we have. So for this point now, I will connect it this way now. See what we have. This is it. Let me indicate the 0.5 inch same allowance we added for a better understanding as well. You see what I did? That's 0.5. So now, so I will quickly now connect it now this way. So this is it. So we're done. For the back neck depth, if you decide to make your back neck depth deeper this way, you see, or you make it straight this way. So the back neck depth is optional. This line you're seeing is just the same allowance. Don't forget that. Here is straight here. So we're fixing our sleeve. So let's quickly now connect our armhole like what we have here. So by the time you place it, you see what you have. So remember, if you are making use of Ankara fabric, remember to add your zipper allowance. But this we are not making use of zipper allowance because see, it stretches, it's not needed. So now that we're done with this, I will place it this. We see what we have now. You see what we have? Just to connect it, to have that curve for the armhole, just to blend it. Just to blend it this way. Remember, the front is higher because of the bows. So just to connect it this way, or you could decide to make it straight. I'm just trying to explain this. With this curving, or you could use a straight line. That is just it. It's still the same thing. So for the back neck depth, you see, you could use this. So it's optional. So now, remember, excuse me, his stretches are not making use of that, so there's no need for that. So you see what we have now. So I will quickly now connect it. Make sure everything blends properly, matches. So this is it. I'm cutting this part. See what we have. So now we'll place our measurement. So the back panel is really simple, guys. So place the bust is there, 10.5 inches. just 1 inch same allowance. The waist controls the under bust is the same measurement that I use, 8.5 inches plus 1 inch same allowance. You see what we have? So I will just connect it. That is all for the back panel. See what we have? So this is just it. So I'll quickly cut it out now for the back panel. Then we are done with the back panel. Mine, I'm not making use of this first neck depth. See what I'm cutting, guys? This first neck depth, I'm placing it this way. So I will cut it this way because of the same allowance. So by the time I fix my sleeve here, when I'm stitching, I will see with this 0.5 inch, everything will sit properly. So that is just it. So this is neck that I'm working with. So this is it. So I will connect it this way. So our back panel is ready. So the back panel is really simple, guys. It's ready. But remember to add zipper allowance if you are using a Ankara fabric. Don't forget that 2 inches or 1.5 inches. This is just it. We'll not be needing that now because I will not be placing that. But if you're working with that, find your nipple to nipple, which is 4 inches. Excuse me, 4 inches plus 0.5 inch same allowance. Just connect it. See what I have? Place it this way. Just connect it if you are making use of hair. See what we have? Just connect it straight 4.5 inch. See what I have? So I will just connect it from this point, come down 0.5 inch, place 0.5 inch here, 0.5 inch here. But mine, I'm not making use of that. So I'm not making use of this. So let's quickly now put this outside. But for this arm, we should not confuse you. See the same method, make it curvy. See? You will achieve the same thing. Can you see what we have here? See what we have. So let's quickly cut this our curve. So you see, we are done cutting it out, and you see this is how it should look like. So this is the back panel. You can see the neck, the back neck depth. You can see how curvy it is. You could decide to make it deeper. So this is the armhole. You can see this is where we're fitting our sleeve to this part. You see what we have. So we want to quickly now move over to our fabric tool, cut it out. Remember I said we've added same allowance we've added here, we've added for the side here. We've also added 0.5 inch, but we'll be adding 0.5 inch here and 0.5 inch here and 0.5 inch here. That's in between the curves, not here, not the down, not the two side. Okay, so let's quickly do that and also cut out the back panel. You can see the back panel. So this is where the neck, you can see back now, this is where our sleeve is starting from, which I say we use 5 inches or 5.5 or 6 inches. You see what we have? This is the dart. So you could start to even extend this. So it depends how you want it. But mine, I'm not making use of that because it stretches. So now we have to quickly transfer this now, then move over to down part of our gown. So guys, we are done cutting it, the corset. You see what we did there. So now this is the down part of our gowns. I've folded it into 2 here, so both front and back is what we have here. So the length of the gown we are working with is 40 inches. So 40 will subtract the upper bodice, which is 16 inches. So I will place it this way. This is my waistline. I don't know if you guys can reach. Let me quickly adjust it this way. Sorry guys. My waistline, so I will mark out 16 inches. This is the waistline. The hip measurement we are working with is 42. So this is it. So by the time we subtract that 16 inches, so this is the full length, 40 inches with the same allowance. So I want to find the down part, the length of the down part of my gown is 24 inches. So this 24 inches, I'll be adding 12 inches. You could try to add more than that for that side there, gather. So it's optional. So mine with this now, I'm adding quarter of my length. So I'll add 12 inches. I still have enough fabric here. So let me add 18 inches. I thought my fabric will not be enough. So you could decide to even double it. Yes, to have that gather full. So this is this. So I added let me repeat. I placed my tape here to find the length of my down part of my gown, the down part of it, which is 24. So you could have to add a quarter of it, or place exactly 24 if you have the fabric for that. So but for the hip, the round measurement, I'll be working with the hip measurement of 42 inches. So I've placed 10 inches here because I'll be stretches a whole lot. So I'll be subtracting 1 inch. See what I have? And always place your round body measurement, the part that stretches. See what I did now? Not this way. This part doesn't stretch that much. So it's this part, it stretches a whole lot. Both those I'll be working with velvet. You see what I have? So I'll be subtracting 1 inch. So for the upper part, if you remember, we added, the reason is we are creating a corset. So we don't want to say whereby our bows will be separate from our cup. So that's why we added. The down part, we don't need that because we are not creating a cup for that. So down part, we will cut it. For the waist, I will subtract 1 inch. For the hip, I will subtract 1 inch. For the hip measurement, I will cut it straight because we have gather on the both sides. So now that we have placed it now, so the hip measurement we're working with is 42. So from this part now, place 8 inches to find my excuse me, 8 inches. Remember, you add 0.5 inch for here, the same allowance that we'll be using to attach the upper part of our bodies. So I've placed it. Now that I have 10 here, by the time I open it up, I'll be having 40. So the waist now is 8.5 inches. So I'll be placing 7.5 inches. You see what we have? So I will just cut it straight to meet the hip, from the hip straight to the full length of my gown. So let's quickly now cut it out. See, I don't know if you guys can reach it. So instead of placing 8.5 inches for the waist, I placed 7.5 inches. I subtracted 1 inch. The hip, I subtracted 1 inch without same allowance because it stretches a whole lot. So if you're making use of Ankara fabric, make sure you had your zipper allowance. Don't forget that. So now let's quickly now cut it out. See, we are done cutting it out. See what we have. So this is how it should look like when you are done cutting it out. So I want to quickly now open it up this way. For the front panel, I will fold it, the part I'll be using as my front panel. For the midpoint, I will go in just by 0.5 inch. You know, the back is higher than the front, 0.5 inch. So blend it this way. So guys, we are done folding our sleeves. See what we have here is in two folds. So we have our two sleeves here. You see, so I don't have much fabric left. So excuse me. Remember, it's an not shoulder sleeves. I was subtracting 4 inches. Yes, because I'm not shoulder sleeves. I will place it this way. So the armhole depth we're working with is 8 inches because the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 16. In two fold is 8 inches. So this is it, 8 inches. So we'll come to this part. I've actually done video on this. So it's 4.5 inches here, but I will placing it, making it 9 inches because it's an elastic. So I will place it. Your round shoulder measurement, subtract your upper chest measurement, divide by 2. So I double it because it's an elastic. So from this point now, we'll go straight this way by 1 inch because I'll be adding, or let me place it this way for a better understanding. So you see, elastic, I've been setting my elastic from here. So for this point now, so I will connect it to meet it this way. See what we have here should be straight. You see, this is just it. But if you have more fabric, do more than this. I just use 9. Well, by the time I open it up, I'm having just 18 inches, but I don't have much fabric for down part. So this is it. So let's quickly cut it out. But this upper part, you cut it straight this way. Sorry guys, my table. The upper part, you cut it this way because of the elastic we'll be using. For this part, you cut it this way, or you could decide to cut it straight here. So this place, like what I said when we were drafting, is optional. For this part now, we'll make it straight. This is a puff sleeve. Sorry guys, I will be using my elastic. The down part, I want to make sure I blend it properly. Also remember to add that 1 inch for the down part where it is fixing your elastic. What I'm talking about for the length, sleeve length is optional. So this is just it. For here, we open it up because I just folded it into two part. That is all. So it's really simple, guys. So now let me quickly open it up. Then we'll move over now to our sewing machine. So guys, we are over to our sewing machine. See, so we want to clean and join this before join our cups. So let's put this aside. So flip it this way, right side facing the right side, and stitch. So we are done joining to see what we have now. So we now want to quickly now join our cups. Also, this is our cup. Place it this way. So we join the cups. This side facing this. Run it and join this. So let me quickly do that as well and show you guys. So guys, you can see we are done join our cups. See what we have. So this is how it should look like when you are done joining your cups, you can see. So now we have to now excuse me, join our sleeve. You know we'll be using elastic. So let me quickly join our sleeve and also show you guys. So you can see we are done joining our sleeve. The down part where we'll be fixing our elastic, we use the 1 inch. You see the upper part, you see what we have. So we'll be inserting our elastic here. So this is the armhole cuff, you can see it now. So we want to clean also. This is our cup. Let me put this aside. So this is the back and you see what we have. So this is the bias I'll be using. So if you have your taping machine, you will use it, especially if you're making ready to wear, to tape it. So then let me put it aside. So we have to now join our cups to our main half bodies. This is it. But if I use an Ankara fabric, I'll drop the link, the full detail on how to go about this corset. You add your interfacing. So you see what this is it. So I will place it this way. Sew it round. But make sure the dot lines matches, you see. But before that, let me quickly add mine. Can you see? So I want to place it this way. I will stitch at the tip here. Stitch at the tip. Before joining my cups, place it this way, stitch at the tip. For the center, I will place it this way in between the bows, stitch at the tip also. I've changed my machine thread. So now I want to stitch on it now. But before you do that, ensure you have already overlocked the edge here. Weave it this way to have that neat finishing. So I will place it this way to stitch, as I said earlier, at the tip. So you can see guys, I'm done joining it. So I want to now join our cups. By 0.5 inch round. So the dot line, make sure it matches. See what we have. So I will sew it round here, sew it round here. So let me quickly do that and show you guys. I will do this one as well. So you can see we are done joining this one. See what we have. This is how it should look like. So this is the cup area. So the second one now, excuse me, I will place it this way. I will place it like this as well. Face it right side, facing the right side, and sew it round. So we are done joining the second cup. Can you see what we have? So this is how it should look like. See, this is it. See how everything matches. See. So now we'll be using our bias to hem this upper part. Making use of lining, you will join your lining this way and use it and flip it in. I don't know if you guys can really see it. Let me place it this way. Stitch it the same way you flip it in, but I'm not making use of lining. So I'll be using my bias. So I will place it here, and remember we'll be facing our sleeve this side. So I'll just place somewhere here, run it round this way, stitch it this way for a neat finish for the neckline. That is all. So let me quickly join it and show you guys as well. I will place it like this. Remember we added 0.5 inch. So don't forget that. Make sure you use 0.5 inch. So I'll raise my machine foot this way and stitch the back stitch. So I will stitch it round. For the boost area, the curvy area, you make it curvy as well. So let me do that and show you guys. So I'm done stitching it around. You can see what we have. I used the 0.5 inch that we added. So I want to now fold it this way. So I will turn it this way, say. The neckline, see what I'm talking about. So I will stitch it round as well. So this is how you should place it. Make sure everything sits properly. So this is our back panel. So for the back panel, remember we added 1 inch seam allowance. So now I want to quickly now subtract it because the back is not busty. And remember it's a stretchy fabric we are using. So I will subtract it now. For the front panel, I won't do that because of the bust area. You see what we have? So I will subtract that 1 inch. So now, excuse me guys. So we want to join our back panel now to the front panel. But for those that are making use of zipper, maybe Ankara fabric, make sure you fix your zipper. So we want to join it now. See what we have. Right side facing the right side. Remember it's 1 inch, but we have subtracted the back panel. So we are done stitching. You see what we have. So I'll be using my overlocking machine. But if you are using same weaving machine, just once you are good to go. So for the back neck, I use the same bias. But those that be using lining, just use your lining to stitch it and flip it in. But you'll be cutting this into two, then the front piece into two. And if you are using stretchy fabric, your line also should be stretchy lining. So this is this. So we have to clean and put this aside. We've not fixed our sleeve yet. So let's put it aside. So for the down part of our gown, which is this, so remember I didn't cut this part open as I said earlier. So I'll be running this part straight line stitch, this straight line stitch to the full length of the gown. So let me quickly do that this way, this part. and show you guys. So we are done stitching it. You see what we have. So this is the upper part, our upper bodies. See, by the time you place it, excuse me, this is the wrong side. You see, everything matches. But before we attach the upper bodies to the down part of our gown, so we'll first create our gather, the two side gather. So this is it. Remember, we stitch it but just by 0.5 inch. I will place it this way, 0.5 inch. I won't place it direct to the uh, to the waistline because I'll be needing 0.5 inch to join to sew it round to the upper bodice. So you get this. I will place it now this way. So I've measured out the length of the down part of the gown is 60 inches. So 60 inches, I measured out the length of 30 inches elastic. So you could decide to do more than that, depending how drape you want it to be. That is how gather you want the two sides to be. But 30 is going for my 60 length of my down part of my gown. So I will place it I will step down by 0.5 inch for my waistline to stitch back at the back of my stitches. You can see at the back, you don't bring it in, it will short your skirt, your gown. So you at the back, the same allowance. But first, make sure you use overlocking machine to weave it round before doing this. I'll be doing that later. So I will place it this way, 0.5 inch. Then I will stitch on my last. As you stitch, you pull. So let's quickly do that. On your body, you see. So now let's quickly now join the upper bodies. Remember the front panel we went in. So I have to cross check. So this is the back panel is higher. So I will turn it this way. This is the front panel. So I'll quickly now pick our upper bodies. So find the midpoint, see the dots. So I will place this one this way, place it properly to notch, that is just to indicate the midpoint. See, you could decide to add the back to the upper bodies, the back panel to the back panel of the down part of your gown, or join the down part separately. Then you come now and join the up upper body separately. So you place it this way. So we'll be stitching it round, but make sure everything matches. You see what we have? So I will stitch it round. This is the waistline. So let me quickly do that and show you guys. So place it properly. So you see the waistline. So this is how everything should look like when you are done. And you see, guys. So it's time to fix our sleeve. So guys, it's time to insert our elastic to our sleeves. I will measure out 8 inches, that is 16 inches for the both sleeve. So I will place it this way, 8 inches this way to pipe in our elastic. I'll be using my safety pin. Actually, I've done video on this. I've said that before, so I'll be dropping the link. So this is it. So I will quickly now insert the elastic here, and also the down part of my sleeve. So let me quickly now pick my safety pin to insert it and show you guys. So guys, we are done excuse me, adding our elastic. So you see what we have now. This is the armhole side, you see. So this is our dress. Can you see? So you place it this way. So by the time This is the wrong side. You fix it this way. You see what you have? So this is the upper part. So this is how it should look like when you are done. But first, I want to close it. That is why I flip it in. It's the wrong side now. So I will close it by 0.5 inch. Then we'll come and fix our sleeve. So let's quickly now close it up. You could decide to fix it first before closing it. So it's optional. So let me close it. Backstage. So let me do the second one as well and show you guys what we have. So it's time to fix our sleeve to our dress. So this is the armhole area. So now we'll bring it in, place it. See what I'm doing, guys. The center of our side dress. So I will place my sleeve this way, the center also, stitch it this way and stitch it this way. So let me quickly do that. So I will do the second side as well and show you guys. It's really simple, guys. Then we'll move over to our cutting table. You see? So I will turn it this way. So we have turned it to the other part. So I will stitch as well the back stitch. Place your sleeve properly. Make sure everything sits properly. See what we have. Excuse me. So this is it. Our sleeve on this other part, say, is ready. This is the back side. This is how it should look like. This is the front side. Remember, the front is higher because of the bows. So this is just it. So I want also now fix the second sleeve with the same method. So I will face it this way, the center of my side dress. So this sleeve as well, I will face it this way, the center also, stitch to meet the front panel, stitch it to meet the back panel. So it's really easy, guys. So let me quickly do that. So guys, you can see we are done fixing our sleeve. So you see how it drips and you see how beautiful it is. See what we have. So for the upper part, you can see 3 steps. That is 3 piece, 3 piece corset. You see how the cup area is. So this is the back panel. You can see the upper bodice, and you see what we have. So it's just the down part that gather, that drips. You see how beautiful to the full length. You see this is how it should look like when you put it on. So this is the sleeve. So guys, it's really simple and beautiful. So please, if you find this my video interesting, click on the like button there. And also please, if you are new to my channel, click on the subscribe button there And also please turn on your notification bell so that each time I upload a new video, you will get notified. I love you all. I remain Chi Living Signature. Bye for now.